Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we will be doing a very interesting problem, that is factorial for a larger number. So we know that the factorial for any number is, if it is n factorial, we need to calculate factorial n, then that is going to be n into n minus 1 and then n minus 2. In this way, it is going to be continued up to 1. But whenever we are having small numbers and we are trying to get factorial, we are trying to calculate factorials, then it is not going to be very much problematic. But if it is something like a big number, for an example 50 or 100, then what is going to be our approach? Because the result of factorial of a big number is going to be very big in space. I mean, it is going to take huge amount of space which we cannot store in normal integer or in normal data type. So we need to come up with a special logic, and that exactly we're gonna do. This is considered as a medium type of problem and medium categories problem, and this has been asked in different product-based organizations like Amazon and Flipkart. So please bear with me, guys. I have written this program. I have given like 50 as input, and you can see like the output is something like this. So we are able to calculate the output. If we just give 100 and let's try with 100, and yeah, we are getting some output also. So this is, I think, fine. Let's go into finding out logic. So before we start, we just want to know like if some number has been given to us. For an example, any number. For an example, we are having 1 to 5. Okay, let me increase my font size so that you guys can have a quick look on it, easily can understand it. Suppose we got some numbers like 135. So in this case, if we just want to multiply it too, so how we multiply it? So we just multiplied the first number, that is 5, and we take something like carry. So carry initially is whenever we are doing a multiplication with 5 and 2, the result becomes 10. Right? So we put 0 over here and carry is becoming 1. Next time when we multiply with 3, we do the multiplication and we add our carry. So when this carry has been taken, the carry list remains nothing. So 2 into 3, 6 plus 1, it is going to be 7. So here carry is 0 actually. So next time when we are trying to multiply with the next digit, 2 into 1, so then we do not have any carry or 0 carry. So 2 into 1 plus 0, that is 2. So in this way, actually, we move ahead. Now, if you just store this number into an array, suppose this is your array, and you are trying to find out the multiplication with every digit. But here, one thing comes. We don't need to store this array the way we have written it, because it is going to create a problem. So we need to actually store it in direction. Suppose we have given a number 5189. So we can store this number in this way. We can store in array like 9, then we can store 8, then we can store 1, then we can store 5, right? So the array's base index is going to be 0. So 0th location will be having 1, 1th location to 8, second location will be having 1, and third location will be having 5. So this is our actually index, but yes, in this case, the array size remains 4. So what I'm trying to say here is like whenever I am trying to multiply this number for number, say for example, x is equal to 10. So I want to multiply this number with x is equal to 10. And as we have seen in this example, that every digit or every number, that means 0th element, 1th element, second element, third element, fourth element, sorry, third index elements. So that is going to be multiplied with 10. So whenever it is multiplied, Every time we are getting a result. Every time we are getting a result. Please, guys, understand it very clear. And every time when you are doing multiplication, we are getting two things. What those two things are? One is your product. Another one is your carry. Right? So whenever we are getting multiplication with this digit, try to understand this digit. So this digit, whenever we are, if it is our input, say for example, this is our input array. So if it is our input array, so this input array is whenever we are fetching first element, so the product would be not only multiplication of x into input 0, but it is going to be something like that: input I into x. X is the number by which we want to multiply. Plus, we need to consider the carry also. Carry might be 0. Carry might be 0. Carry might be any number, but we have to consider the carry also to get the product, right? Absolutely. So in this case, we do not have any objection. Now the thing is, whenever we are actually trying to find out what is going to be, means after fetching, after getting this product, if we want to find out what is going to be the carry part, then how we going to determine that? Whenever we are want to interested the carry part, suppose here actually 10 into 9, the result is, and carry initially was 0, so the result becomes 90, right? If we just write it over here, the result becomes 90. So what is going to be the carry part? Carry part is definitely going to be 90 divided by 10, right? So 9 is going to be our carry, right? And 0 is going to be something which we will be considering. But so if we just say that result is something, result is an array where we are going to store the final element. I mean, what I'm trying to say, like the final result is going to be stored. So in that case, in the 0th element, initially in the 0th element, there will be 0 in this case, because we have defined like 90 is basically 90 divided by 10. So we can write it in this way, like whatever the product coming, we can say like product, this is nothing but product divided by the what is here, 10 divided by 10, right? That is going to be 9. So that is our actually carry part, right? If we want to find out carry, then this carry is going to be this. So we can do one thing, we can just, yes. So that is going to be our, what is related to the carry. Now, among these, which is going to be considered in the result part? So you got 90, right? So the result array, or the at this index, 0th index, the result array is going to have product modulo 10, which is 0 in this case. Product modulo 10, which is 0 in this case, is going to be stored over here, right? So next time when we are having 8, again 10 is going to be multiplied with 8, right? So multiplication is going to give us 80, and 80 is going to be added by the carry part. So carry was 89. So next time, whatever the product value is 89. So what we're going to do, we will divide it by 10. So which results 8. This result 8 is going to be our carry, right? And the remainder 9 is going to be the first index, first index. So product divided by 89 modulo 10, that means 9 is remainder. So that is going to be first place. In this way, it is going to be continued, and we will get one array. But whenever we are, sorry, one result array, but when we have to also consider one thing, that the result array, the size of result array is changing every time in case of factorial. Suppose you are going to do 5 factorial, we will dry run, we will make a dry run with 5 factorial. So initially you have in your input array, you have kept, I mean result array, what I am saying, not result array. Initially the input array you are having 1. You are starting your loop from 2, for an example. So first what you are trying to do, you are trying to do 1 into 2 and then 2 into 3, 6. So at that time also your result array is having 1 element. Then whenever 2 into 3 into 4 comes, it is becoming 24. Then your result array is not having only 1 element, it is having 2 elements. 2 elements. Try to understand. If it is your result array, so is the size of the result array needs to be changed. So we have to somehow determine or calculate the size of the result array, and we need to pass it to the next time call. Means you are calling for a function, you, for an example, you are calling a function with parameter 2, with parameter 3, but whenever you are calling that function with parameter 4, you have to notify that function who is actually preparing your result that yes, my result array size has been changed altogether. So that's why I have made this piece of code. If you just see this code, the factorial function, which is nothing but taking a number, and we will make a dry run. We will make a dry run with number. So that number is basically given into the factorial method. So factorial method is taking a number, and this number internally calling a function which is multiply function. And this multiply function is basically in a loop, and this loop starts from 2 to the number. So here if we start with 5 factorial, in that case the loop will start from 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. So this is the thing from the factorial function is going to iterate this loop. So what this multiply function is doing, see, every time as I'm mentioning, multiply function is basically taking two things. One is the value, that is x, which is nothing but 5 over here. Sorry, it's not 5, which is nothing but 2 initially, then 3 after that, then 4 after that, then 5. And the race size is basically result size. It determines like every time when we are calculating the I mean when we are preparing the result array. So the result array, it is not, this function is not only defining the result array. Responsibility of multiply function is not only to determine the result array every time, but also every time whenever he is preparing the result array, next time if he goes, what is going to be the size of the result array next time, for next iteration, what is going to be the size of result array, it also determines that with the help of this res size parameter, or with the help of this res size return type. So you can see like every time it is returning a result size, and that result size has been used for the next time call. So if you just go line by line, so initially result array at 0th position we are having z1. So result size we have kept 1. So our code starts with 2. So x is equal to 2. Result array we are passing, which is having only one element, and that is 1, and result size, which is nothing but 1, right? So if we come over here, carry has been defined as 0, as we mentioned. This is mentioned as 0, initialization of the carry. Now in this for loop, actually we are doing the product, what we are discussing earlier. So product, in the first case, product result array is having only 1, and we are passing 2. So 1 into 2 plus carry. This line actually executes 2. So this is something which has dot, then the number that is basically executed result. So this is our executed result of first line. See, result 0 into 2 plus 0, that is 2. In the next case, we are storing the product, but not simply. We are actually storing the products, like whatever the value is coming, we are doing modulo. So that we can take carry part separate, and we can take what the exact part we need required to store as a result, that we can determine. So as we have mentioned earlier in this diagram, like if you got 89, so we would like to store 8, right? And we would like to store 8 as carry, and we would like to store 9 as result. So in this case also the same thing is happening, the product modulo 10. So initially the result comes for the first time 2. So 2 modulo 10 means 2 is going to be stored. So we are storing 2 at the 0th location of the result. In the carry part, we are also dividing product divided by 2 divided by 10. That gives us 0, right? That gives us 0, 10, 0, 0. So that's the 0. So that is the carry part. So we do not have any carry. We do not have any carry means we don't need to increase our result array. So that means we do not need to run this piece of code which contains a while loop. So directly we are coming into this line, and we are returning size 1. So initially after this after 2 we will be having size 1. So what is happening in case of 3? In case of 3, we are passing 3, and result array is having one element only, and that is 2. So 2 into 3 plus carry is equal to 6. So product is having 6, and we are storing into the result first location. We are updating from 2 to 6, so it becomes 6. Only one element is there. Carry, we do not have any carry because it is less than 10. So we don't need to run this of code. So we don't need to increase the result size, and we are returning result 1. So next time it is 4. So in case of 4, we are having result array only one element, that is 6. So 6 into 4 plus carry is becoming 24. Now in this case, in the result array first location, what we need to store? We need to store basically 4, right? And the carry part is going to be 2. So that exactly we have mentioned, the carry part will be 2. And now we need to adjust our code because the carry is greater than 0. So whenever we are coming into these conditions, so we have to increase our result array because we are having some carry. So if we can see, like we initially the zeroth address, initially the zeroth address we have stored 4 because 24 modulo 10 is equal to 4. Now we have to determine what exactly we are going to store in first address, right? Because result size is basically right now 1, right? It is not 0. So in one thing index in index number 1, we have to store something. And what we are going to store? We are going to store carry part. So the carry part is basically nothing but carry modulo 10, carry modulo 10, because that is going to be stored in this way. So we actually store 2. So 4 and 2 is the right now result array is having. Now we need to decrement carry. So we have to, how to decrement? So we will check like the carry is having any 10 multiples or not. So or any in the next digit we are having anything or not. We don't have anything in carry part because it's a single digit number, and it's nothing but 2. So 2 modulo 10 is basically 0, and we are incrementing our result size. And this increment is essential because next time when we'll be passing the array size, we are changing, and we are saying, okay, array size is right now 2. So array size has become 2 right now. So that we are modifying it, and next time when it is calling for 5, we are having array size 2, and this loop is already getting an indication that yes, I have 2 elements in my array. So I need to take care of multiplication for 2 elements only. So what is my current array? 4 and 2. So in the first iteration, when I is equal to 0, it is going to be multiplied by 5 because we are passing 5 right now as x. So 5 into 4, it is going to be 20. So we as similarly, we are taking the modulo operator. So 0 is going to be stored in the array, and carry part is going to be 2, which is greater than 0. That means we need an adjustment and we need resizing. So the next element, and in the second, so result array is going to be incremented. Now we have seen like sorry. In first iteration, so it is 0th iteration. Now in first iteration, what is going to happen? The result size 1, that is also going to be multiplied. So the index 1, that is also going to be multiplied with 5. So we have to multiply 5 into 2 plus 2, because the carry is right now 2. So carry is 2 because it has come from ith 0th, when 0 loop 0, when I was 0, then actually we are having one carry, that is 2. So that 2 has been added, needs to be added over here, and that is going to be 12. So in the same scenario, result array 1 is going to be stored as 2, and the carry part is going to be 1. Now the array looks like, right now after this step, the array looks like the array, if we think like we are having result 0 is having basically 0, and result 1 is having 2, right? Now this is something where actually we are having carry is greater than 0, and carry is basically 1 right now. So we need to go for an adjustment. So this adjustment says like result size 1. So result size race is equal to result size. Race and result size. Result size is basically 2. So in the second index, that means third element. What is going to be the third element? So carry modulo 10 is going to be the third element. So that is basically 1. So this is something, and we are decrementing carry, and the next time the loop is not going to happen, because not going to occur, because the carry becomes 0. Now we are returning result size, but this result size is not going to be required further because this loop gets terminated. So now the array looks like 0 to 1. We have to reverse this array. We have to print this array, print reversely. So what we are printing here is like 1 from last element to 0th element. So it is going to be 1 to 0. So that I think it is understandable if you just see the program again. So in this case, we are actually calling this function. So 2 to n, we are calling multiply. So yes, so that is the case actually. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.